What's up folks, Arcade here with a bit of a different video today. I'll have a new video on all the stats for the new weapons shortly, but you can already see them all in the app along with some attachments and a lot more being added tomorrow. Now, our mutant team of secret agents has been growing and expanding into Easter eggs. With this new season, we've actually uncovered some new information and even some solutions to a new Easter egg we're calling the Warzone Ciphers and Bunker 10. Step 1 requires us to get into 6 new locations on the map, Bunkers 1, 3, and 10, which all have newly lit up keypads, and 3 sheds or barns that have brand new keypads added to them. A lot of people yesterday started posting videos inside of these online, but unfortunately it seems like everyone was glitching in and not really making progress on that first step. Though it did help us get an idea that this is most likely a multi-step Easter egg. Inside these new locations seem to be mostly loot and some random assets, but Bunker 10 in particular had a whole new missile silo with a missile in it, which of course started the rumor that the rocket could be launched. What a lot of these folks missed because they didn't know what to look for was a bunch of small hidden papers and posters in these locations, which are clues to the next step. Now, our agents are currently working hard and solving this first step and starting to make progress on step 2. Zero from our Hunter Discord group has a great video on these barns locations, and you can join our Discord to talk with people, check out maps, and help us solve the rest of this Easter egg. Now, step 2 seems like it requires us to find 20 different documents and piece them together into a giant cipher puzzle, which will culminate in calling some sort of phone number in California to likely receive a final code and potentially launch this missile in Bunker 10. But what are these documents? Well, they are labeled in 6 different colors and grouped by all sorts of different pages. First, the Venona cipher, which is 4 pages giving instructions on converting words into numbers. Second and third are the Nixie papers, which give us instructions on converting numbers into Nixie tubes, while the other Nixie papers seem to give us what we use to convert these numbers. Fourth is the Square cipher, which is a mix of a Playfair cipher and possibly a couple of others. Here we're given 4 squares, 2 code words, and asked to create the cipher we'll use to decode a message. Fifth, we have the chemicals and instructions on converting the chemicals into special code. Then finally, we have the phone puzzle. This one seems to have us using all of the information found across the others to solve and figure out a phone number which we call for something. That's just the overview. We've made a little bit of progress on solving some of these already. So first, in the Venona papers, we're asked to enter 5 words into numbers. These 5 words our agents agreed on first was what they found in Bunker 11. Resume cover, await further instruction. This does work and gives us a set of numbers which we have converted all the way to step 3. But here's where we are a little bit stuck. The instructions say there may not be a normal pad for these codes, which is used in old Soviet ciphers there typically was. This pad would give you a page and more numbers to add into the current numbers to produce a result. Now, our secret agents believe the first set of numbers, which is circled as Heli Evac, are the numbers from the winning screen of Warzone, J4722. So while we have made some progress on this, we are missing the next 20 numbers currently and have to figure out where to look for those. The result will give us 24 letters which will fit into all these blank lines and match the letters that are already written in. So we believe we have these first 4, actually 5, so we know that the next number or the first number for the rest of the code pad is 3. Next, we have the Nixie papers. These revolve around Nixie lights and how the numbers are ordered in them. We don't think the lights themselves are important, but rather the way the numbers are ordered, particularly in the Russian one named here. We have that first conversion figured out, but we still need to feed a set of 24 digits through it and get a result. Now, the hardest part about all of these is that the results are also still codes, all the way until the final step. So we don't always know if we're on the right track, but we've been able to match up a lot of these to be similar to each other. The numbers on the bottom talk about negative and positive charges, and when actually converted, don't really give us any answers. So we're still pretty sure that something has to be fed through this, and we're still looking for that one piece. Next, we have the Square ciphers. These are actually the easiest to solve so far, as it's a very basic Playfair cipher where the top left and the bottom right are A through Z with one letter missing, in this case Q as it's stated right on the paper. The other squares use a code word to remove and change places of certain letters. We have the code words, and thanks to the internet it was easy to get the other boxes filled in. The next interesting thing was that these say they were location based, and that's very odd as these ciphers aren't really. On these papers we also saw quarry, boneyard, and prison listed, as well as A = 0 and A and 0 written across the rows in the columns. This led us to think that it's likely a map with A through J and 0 through 9 of Verdansk. which when overlaid isn't perfect with the 3 locations, but you do actually get Quarry and Boneyard pretty perfectly, while Prison just barely touches it and is on the square. This could be wrong, but because Prison is in a different type of square and the letter X which is in the location of that barn with the keypad and the RCXD, well, we're not sure. There's still something more to this that we have to uncover. Next, we have the chemicals. Here we're given 24 chemical compounds and asked to use the hill system as well as remove sub-integers to order them. Now, the code so far we have fits into the 24 blank spots we have, but what you may have noticed is that we actually have 4 lines like this, which means that all of them need to be filled in differently, meaning likely that each of these puzzles has a different solution, which will lead us to a final paper. Across all these pages, they talk about broadcast signal codes, so we think those are these codes. So what's the final page that connects us all? Well, here we have the phones. This one doesn't necessarily seem like a cipher, but almost more like a math puzzle. It talks about these broadcast signals, which we've seen across other pages, as well as both wavelengths and frequencies. Now, we have some numbers given to us to clue us in where to start, but that's about it. The puzzle then has a few steps to decode those numbers back into letters, and finally we take those 7 letters and go back into numbers, which fit into this one that's located somewhere in Santa Cruz. I wonder what's over there. Okay, so that's theoretically step 2, or steps 2 through 9, however you want to look at it. What is the final step? Well, this one's a theory. A couple of folks who said they glitched into Bunker 10 with their actual character have told us there's a phone or some sort of pad where it asks you to enter a cipher code, but I haven't seen anyone that's interacted with it and seen what actually comes up. Now, as much as I'm excited about step 3, I still think we really need to focus on solving step 1. Step 1 will bring us into Bunker 10, so we should be able to interact with this console or phone and see what it does. My theory is that once we solve the phone number, we will still need to call it and give it some sort of input code via 0 through 9 on our phones, or by saying alpha, beta, etc. We will then receive some sort of 4-digit code to launch the missile. Now, I know some of you are wondering if this is the live event. No and yes. I believe that, like Bunker 11, once this is solved, that the Easter egg will be accessible via Bunker 10 every match. The code you might get on the phone could very well be specific or change every match. We've actually been shown that this is possible with the new Trench multiplayer Bunker Easter egg, where the numbers on the wall change every single match. There, we also use the same keypad, but for 2 different codes, and we shoot the keypad to interact with it. We haven't seen any of this in Warzone, but it doesn't mean it's not a teaser for it and that it's possible. Okay, well that wraps everything up. I made this quickly because I'm trying to get back to wrapping up more stats and using this computer brain to
decipher these codes.
If you want to help us hunt, solve ciphers, talk stats, or just game with some chill people, join our Discord below. Arcade out.